everyone, my name is Uma Chandrasekhar and this is my first video series. In this series, I am exploring the topic of deliberation, the essence of executive leadership. Here, I am bringing the salient features of deliberative decision making, which is rational and data-driven. In order to explore this topic in detail and bring increased insights to my audience, I classified this topic into three major groups: deliberation in representative democracy, deliberation in judiciary systems, and deliberation in organizational systems. After completing the first two groups, I introduced the third stratum, which is deliberation in organizational systems, in part 15 onwards. I looked into differences between deliberate and ethical decisions with a hypothetical example and reviewed Lawrence Kohlberg's 6 stages of moral development and added a couple of my own. While trying to build a framework model to make deliberate decisions in organizations through scrutinizing concepts of reasoning and group intelligence, I've delved into Richard Barrett's 7 levels of organizational consciousness, and I completed the first 3: creation and growth, organizational needs, mission and goals, and taste of success. These 3 levels are meant to meet the needs and deficiencies of the organization. Let me get the slide and remind you of the first 3 levels, which I considered in the last part, which is part 17. Now, in this part 18, I will continue on with the remaining 4 levels of organizational consciousness. The fourth and median out of the 7 levels of organizational consciousness is continuous improvement. This is the level to comprehend where it is important to comprehend the goals and growth achieved so far and plan for their future growth. At this level, the focus is ongoing improvement and employee participation at every level in the organization. The emphasis at this level is the transformation from a growing organization to a well-grounded organization, and this organizational transformation depends on every employee in the organization, as everyone has to exhibit adaptability, accountability, empowerment, teamwork, and goal-oriented continuous improvement. The fifth of the 7 levels of organizational consciousness is shared vision. The focus at this level is the sense of purpose achieved through shared vision and values. At this stage, the organization is a collection of people who are committed, creative, enthusiastic, honest, generous, chaste, transparent, and true. This is the starting level of self-sufficiency of any organization. The 6th and the penultimate level of organizational consciousness is about making a difference. This is the 2nd level in the self-sufficiency oriented growth and purpose of any organization. This stage is about being the leader in the chosen field of work, and this achievement is not possible without involving the local and global communities. The internal and the external collaboration which happens at this stage is through local awareness, coaching, and mentoring. The organization is at almost the peak level at this stage, and their motivation to help humanity and their success in doing so is the crux of this level. Making a difference does not always mean global perspectives or saving humankind, but can also mean patriotic involvement at national level through helping a national cause such as donating for a charity, holding a charity gala, or social involvement at local levels as well. The ultimate facet of consciousness is social contribution. This stage is an extended level of the previous stage, and it is achieved through social contribution along with social commitment towards the organizational communities, both local and global. This is the level of ethical conscience which focuses on compliance, governance, and mitigating risks. At this level, the organization might be an internationally established organization which practices growth, through humility and not through flexing their muscles. At this stage, any problems such as lawsuits, problems in products, lack of ethical or governance compliance, impact the image of the organization at the highest level. Hence, such misreputations must be handled discreetly, as the focus at this stage is not growth but continued success. Now that I have explained the 7 levels of consciousness by Richard Barrett, I am prepped to work on the construction of framework model for the process of making deliberate decisions. While I was trying to construct a decision-making framework model for deliberate decisions, I was looking into various executive leaders for inspiration, and a few days before I came across the deliberate decision-making framework model used by Jeff Bezos, the founder and executive chairman of Amazon Inc. Let me get the slide before I move on. It seemed interesting and more or less aligned with my thought process as well. So I thought I wanted to share it as a framework model for deliberate decisions to start with. But the time is up for this video. Hence, with this info, I complete the first video of part 18. I will meet you in the next vlog of the same part of the vlog series titled Deliberation, the Essence of Executive Leadership, where I will continue with Jeff Bezos' framework to make deliberate decisions. Hi everyone, I am Uma Chandrasekhar and this is the second vlog of part 18 where I am planning to explain Jeff Bezos' framework model for deliberate decision making process. Let me share the screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about. Talking of images, the slide is the background. I'm planning to share an interesting fact about the background images I use in these videos. I love outdoors and I take pictures of nature whenever I go to a national park or a vacation site. The background of this part 18, is Big Sur, California. The sunset is wonderful there. Don't miss it if you ever happen to be in California. So most of the pictures I use as backgrounds are taken by me, or they might be from some wallpaper apps I downloaded and subscribed to. But there are some exquisite images thanks to Getty Images from Los Angeles, California. As a resident of California, I visit Los Angeles, the city of cine angels, aka Hollywood, quite often. I have visited Getty Museum twice and lost myself in those wonderful paintings, drawings, and sculptures exhibited inside. And again, if you ever happen to be in California, don't forget to visit it. Reserve at least 4 hours for the visit. Now, without further delay, let me move on with Jeff Bezos' framework model for deliberate decisions. The framework of Jeff Bezos to make deliberate decisions is divided into 4 quadrants, as you see on the image. With the severity of the decision on the x-axis and the state of change on the y-axis. While the severity is divided into 2 categories, consequential and inconsequential, the state of change consists of reversible and irreversible decisions. Let me start with quadrant 1. The decisions which occupy this quadrant are inconsequential but reversible decisions. These decisions do not need a hoard of data to work upon. The inconsequential decisions are made by empiricists and include those decisions which are not important to achieve a goal or mission of an organization. For example, a manager who allows sick time for a secretary makes an inconsequential decision as it does not affect the target or the milestone of the project. Also, he can change his mind after 2 days and ask him or her to come back to work if the workload increases. The quadrant 2, the decisions which belong to quadrant 2 are consequential but reversible decisions. Consequential decisions are rational decisions rather than on-the-spot decisions. Rational decisions, as I have mentioned many times in these vlogs, are those decisions which can be made by decision makers with minimum experience, as they are based on data and data analysis, and hence they are more straightforward decisions which might impact the mission or the goal of the team or the organization. A good example can be a CEO's decision to accept a project besides the data analysis being unfavorable at a specific moment of time and might impact the profits of the organizations, as he might have a possibility to revert that decision within an year if the unfavorable data persists. Let me move on to quadrant 3. The decisions in quadrant 3 are consequential but irreversible. Similar to quadrant 2 decisions, quadrant 3 decisions are also made after analyzing a good amount of data, and rational decisions are resolute and invariable. To cite an example, a principal engineer's decision to accept a design for a product after comparing it with several similar decisions is a rational but irreversible decision, as once the design is finalized and sent for mass production, it is impossible to change it, as it might not merely affect the profits of the organization but also the delivery timelines too, which might cause serious damage to the image of the organization, as it might affect the customer satisfaction. The last quadrant is the fourth quadrant, and the decisions in this quadrant are inconsequential and irreversible too. These decisions are simple day-to-day decisions. Examples for simple decisions are decisions to have a bagel or a scone for the breakfast. This decision is on-the-spot decision and irreversible once the breakfast is finished. When it comes to organizations, examples for this type of decisions are whether to hold a meeting in the morning or in the evening, as they are mostly on-the-spot decisions which cannot be reversed after the participants are informed about the same, as they are time-bound decisions made at short notice. As good as it appears as a framework for decision-making on the papers, it is practically impossible to follow it to the full stop. In Jeff Bezos' own words, most decisions should probably be made with somewhere around 70%. He writes, quote, in his own words, quote, most decisions should probably be made with somewhere around 70% of the information you wish you had. If you wait for 90% in most cases, you're probably slow. Plus, either way, you need to be good at quickly recognizing and correcting bad decisions. If you are good at course correcting, being wrong may be less costly than you think, whereas being slow is going to be expensive for sure. Close quote. This rhetoric of Jeff Bezos is totally against the concept of haste makes waste, as many haste decisions lead to loss and rework. With this information, I will finish this part 18 and I'll come back in the next vlog, which is part 19 of my first video series titled Deliberation, the Essence of Executive Leadership, to elucidate you with my framework for deliberate decisions in organizations, as Jeff Bezos' framework lacks the virtue of patience and favors haste. If you viewed my video this far, you definitely deserve a thank you. Thank you for viewing.